3, 2, 1. We're live. Welcome to the Prefessional podcast, episode number 3. Today's going to be a nice, short, quick one. We're going to talk about some of the stuff in WoW with the new Fractures in Time update that is coming. And then I'm going to just make a couple comments on the whole Overwatch 2 drama that's kind of been going on. So let's talk about the new update in 10.1. The Fractures in Time. This is the big content update that's coming in the summer. One of the biggest things that stuck out to me, and the very first thing I want to talk about, is the Dragonriding on the classic continents. That's on Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms. So when they data mined, they ended up finding a bunch of like different circuit achievements. So like all throughout Anchorage, Ashenvale, the Barrens, the Blastlands, Booty Bay, a bunch of different circuit achievements popped up in the patch. And then they also found 2 distinct spells, the Flight Style Static and Flight Style Dynamic. Static referring to the classic movement with the current mounts, and then the Dynamic style, which is the new Dragonriding style. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably one of the biggest changes that they needed to do. I think it should be included in every single continent and every single area. Or I'm not going to say that they should retract this, but they are only specifying in Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms. They're not specifying in like Outlands or Legion, any of those specific areas. So what I would like to see them do is, because this is such a huge convenience if we're able to use our Dragonriding in the classic other continents outside of the Dragon Isles. Ever since Dragonriding was implemented, it felt very slow. Like the old mount system felt very slow because your Dragonriding mounts can get up to like 800% speed increase. Meanwhile, your regular mounts are, 300%. So they have definitely needed to overhaul it. You really didn't pay much attention to it because you don't visit many of the other islands until you have to do like a Mythic in that area, or if you're going to like one of the major cities like Stormwind or Orgrimmar. And that's when you see it, and that's when you feel it, and it's like it feels so cumbersome and so slow. So one of the things that I think they need to do with the original flying to kind of keep things even is that if you don't want to use the dragon riding, the dragon flying style, then to just increase the mount speed of all the other mounts to like 600%. That way it's like a happy medium. Then you're still moving the same speed as you were if you were dragon riding, just on a different mount. And obviously don't do that to the ground mounts, because that's, keep that the same, because you can't be zipping around on the ground like that. But that's a huge change. That's a huge positive and a huge win for this. I know they had mentioned it was going to be talked about, and I'm glad that they are going to actually add this in. So you can see on the screen here, it's everywhere: Durotar, Gilneas, Ironforge, Kalimdor, like everything here, it shows like courses and stuff throughout the areas. And they are changing some of the mounts. Some of these were like data mined as well. You have the Onyx, Netherwing Drake, the Azure Netherwing Drake, the Drakes, they are all getting the Dragonriding animations, a few more too. But huge win, huge W for Blizzard on this. Much needed as well. Now, if they could only do that to like the Legion areas and stuff, that way when you're traveling to Mythics, it's not as, tedious and slow. So let's talk about the new spec for the Evokers. And this is an Augmentation spec. It is a DPS spec, however, it's slightly different. This one is going to be focusing on not only dealing damage, but also like passing buffs and defensives to your party and raid members. So when you're casting a spell, not only does it deal damage, but then there's also an effect with that spell that will like buff your allies, increase damage, increase haste, increase damage resistance, healing done, things like that. Really neat spec. I still haven't played the Evoker, but I do actually like the way that's designed. It's like a mix of a support and a damage, primarily damage, but still like the mix. Also, one of the big things they mentioned in the Fractures of Time this summer, they are going to be releasing a mega dungeon, and this is an 8-boss Mythic only dungeon. So I'm excited to jump into that. 8 bosses is a lot. It's a lot. So I'm anxious to see what level the loot's going to be at. I don't know if they're going to scale it. It being a Mythic dungeon, or a mega dungeon this late, is the item level going to be equivalent to the rest of the dungeons, or is it going to be slightly higher? Obviously, it's going to be a little higher because of the mythic rating only, but I'm curious to see how they're gonna implement it and what the gear is going to be from that. That's a huge deal. 8 bosses sounds kind of time consuming. You're talking kind of like a raid, honestly. A lot like a raid, just not as super mechanically intensive. So I'm anxious to see what kind of loot we're going to be getting out of that, and is it going to be worth the time? I hope it is. Some of the quality of life changes that they have coming with that as well. Riding is now free, which is nice. You don't have to pay for riding anymore. You just learn the appropriate skill when you hit the level. So you visit your mount trainer and it's given to you for free. Some people are a little salty, like, oh my God, I spent $3,000 on getting my mount riding skills and all that kind of stuff. But dude, I mean, does it really matter? You earn gold so much and so fast that it just doesn't really fit. It's not necessary. So with that, they're also adding in 2 new flying mounts. Alliance has their own mounts, and then the Horde also has their own mounts as well. The Harbor Griffin, I don't know if these have pictures or not. Yeah, okay, so here you go. So here's the Harbor Griffin. This is for the Alliance. This is your special mount now. And then the Reigns of the Scarlet Petorak, whatever. Can't pronounce that. I'm not going to try. Really cool. I like this guy. I think he looks neat. So another quality of life change is the allied races are now going to be unlocked for everybody. I think that's kind of overdue too. Seems kind of, when I came back to WoW, I didn't play during, I guess that was BFA is when the allied races came in, right? So I didn't play. So when I came back to Dragonflight, I saw like the Maghar orcs, the Zandalarian trolls, the dwarves, like they were locked. And I looked up like how to get them unlocked because I actually like the Maghar orcs. I thought they looked really cool. But I had to do like a quest chain, and that's only for one specific race. So if I wanted to play with a Zandalarian troll or I wanted to play with the Maghar orcs, I had to do 2 separate quests for that. And it just, honestly, it wasn't worth my time. It just really wasn't. Like I wasn't going to go back. Like I would have to be really, really bored and have a lot of free time in order to go back and do the quest lines to unlock just a slightly different customization. So I like that they're unlocking it for everybody. I think that was a really smart move. It seemed really dumb to have it blocked. So good call on them. Really good call. And I will actually be making a Maghar Orc now when I want to do another class. I don't know what I'm going to make yet though. So another one is they've added a bunch of races can now become warlocks. And with that, they also added in a new side quest for imp customization. So further customization of your imp, and then a bunch of new, but a bunch of the races have also now the warlock class that they can roll as. So let me see. This was the first week of the Great Vault. I wonder how you guys did. Was this the first week or the second week? I don't even remember. I think it was the first week. Regardless, what did you guys get from the Great Vault? I got my very first hero piece from the Great Vault because of the mythics I've been running. And now I just have to start farming the crest in order to upgrade that to the next level. But it's a hero 1 out of 5, I think. I think it's 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 4. It's very low item level compared to the rest of them, but really nice gear. Still hunting for my 2-piece set. I've had shit luck on drops, so I am still rocking the 4-piece from the vault. And hopefully this week, sometime really, really soon, I will get lucky on a teardrop. But we'll see. Honestly, at this rate, a lot of people have breezed through the Aberrus Cruise, the Aberrus raid. It's not overly difficult. I think it's pretty well tuned. They need to go ahead and release the Catalyst, so that way we can just start changing some of our gear to our tier gear. I think it's kind of dumb to hold out. I think the Catalyst isn't active until like halfway through June or the first part of June. I think that's kind of stupid. So they should definitely upgrade that. And I think they should upgrade. I think they should just release all of LFR, all the wings. I think it's really stupid. I think that's why they aren't releasing the Catalyst, because I'm pretty sure the last wing in LFR is released, and then the Catalysts are also released. So I feel like that's kind of connected, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. The entire raid should just be available at this point and say fuck it, you know, release the Catalyst too. So I actually have a bunch of gear that I would love to use. However, if I lose my 4-piece bonus, the DPS loss does not make up for the eye level gains. So I think I'm still at like 408 item level, and I could be at probably like a 415, but I can't because of the DPS loss from the fucking 4-piece. It's honestly that big. So let me talk about the new Mythics. I've finally been through all of them. Probably my two favorite. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Brackenhide Hollow sucks ass. Least favorite Mythic, like easily. Like it's no competition as how much I hate that dungeon. Ultimate isn't bad. I like Neltharos and the Halls of Infusion. Freehold's all right. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Freehold. It's a cool dungeon, but it's not on the top list there. And I do think Vortex. I actually think Vortex Pinnacle is not bad. I think Vortex Pinnacle looks cool, more so than anything. It's kind of annoying with like the hidden Tempest and shit. But Brackenhide Hollow is easily the worst dungeon in that rotation. Like all of it sucks. The trash sucks. The bosses suck. Least favorite. You know, and last season it was the Court of Stars for me. I couldn't stand the Court of Stars, but I would take Court of Stars over Brackenhide. But I don't think I like the changes they did to the affixes this season. I feel like it's less difficult, honestly. Like I have immediately jumped in to like 12 13s, and I'm starting on 15s now, and it's just, I mean, I've kind of breezed through them, especially in the tank. Really no difficulty there. So last little bit thing I want to talk about here is just Overwatch 2. Blizzard came out and announced that they were canceling the PvE aspect in Overwatch 2. Now, I'm not a huge Overwatch fan. I've played Overwatch 1. I played it a lot actually when it first came out. And I played it pretty solidly for a year. I enjoyed it. Overwatch was a great game. It was a lot of fun. I still think it's fun. When Overwatch 2 came out, actually when it was announced, I was really excited. Because I was like, damn, dude, like, you know, we have all the heroes, and now we're going to have like a PvE raid type, dungeon type situation. I thought it was really cool. You have the roles, you have the heroes. I mean, it kind of synergized, and it was something I would expect to see in an Overwatch game, in a hero shooter game like that. So I was super excited. I played Overwatch 2 when it came out, or 1.5 or 1.1, however you want to word it. I like the changes, the smaller party size. I think the game overall, I think the gameplay is better. I think Overwatch 2 is better. There's no loot boxes. The game looks better. The game plays better. However, it's really weird that they've completely stopped and just like trashed the fucking development of the PvE when that was the entire premise behind the number 2 in Overwatch. So I have some speculation as far as why I think they canceled it. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's monetization. I mean, obviously, we all know they got rid of loot boxes. They've implemented the Battle Pass. And there's been a whole uproar about that. Kind of agree with it partly because seeing like charts and stuff of like how long it takes to unlock stuff as a free player, even with a Battle Pass, it's stupid. Like they should have kept the loot boxes. You just don't. You know, you don't pay for the fucking loot box. You have challenges. You do the challenges, you get a loot box. Keep the loot boxes to help people keep getting skins and stuff. But anyway, I have a feeling they said that they stopped the PvE due to it taking away so much focus from the live service aspect of the game. Now, here's the thing, and this is all I want to say about it. Blizzard is a billion-dollar company. They make lots of money. For them to scrap, for them to say that they didn't have enough development time and development effort into the live service aspect of the game because the team was focused on this PvE aspect, that just tells me that instead of spending more money to ensure that their game is being developed fully, they said, fuck that. We're going to save money. And we're not going to hire any more people to put out the product we said we were going to put out. So, consumers, tough shit. I'm not sorry, but you have Overwatch 2 now. So keep playing it and buying battle passes. And I think a lot of people aren't. I think a lot of people are going to back out now. Like I said, I played a little bit of Overwatch 2. I didn't invest a whole lot of time. I sure as fuck didn't invest any money. I invested money into Overwatch, the first one. But, you know, that's why they stopped it. It's simple. They could not think of a way to monetize the PvE aspect of the game. So that's why the development stopped. That's exactly why. Because they were utilizing the battle pass, they were utilizing like the in-game skins and things like that. They could not think of a way to monetize the PvE aspect. So they scrapped it. That is absolutely why. It has nothing to do with them not having the time or the personnel to do it. They didn't see any monetary incentive to do it. Therefore, they scrapped it. And that's just kind of the world that's just kind of the gaming world we live in at this point is, you know, if you can't microtransaction the shit out of a game, then they're not going to release it. You know, very rarely. There's a few games, you know, Elden Ring is like the primary example I think of. I think Legend of Zelda would be another safe option there. But yeah, so I just wanted to make a comment on that because it was really disheartening. I actually wanted to play the Overwatch 2 PvE mode. You know, it's cool. You have tanks, you have healers, you have DPS. I mean, it fucking fits. Like they should have done it. And it seems really, really shitty, especially since, you know, a lot of people were playing Overwatch 2 with the idea that, hey, you know, we're playing Overwatch 2. We're gonna play PvE. We're gonna have PvE at some point. You know, and now it's fucking gone. It's fucking gone. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I think a lot of people are upset over Overwatch 2's PvE. If you're not, you should be, because it's just shitty. They literally changed the entire system. They kind of blindsided some people because people were literally buying the game for that reason. And now they can't. You know, it was ripped away from them. So, what are your thoughts on that? What did you guys get in the Great Vault? And what else you guys want to talk about? I think next week I'm actually going to do a podcast on tanking. So, I've been having a fucking blast tanking. Fucking blast. And constantly on the Reddit forums and the Blizzard forums, people are talking about, like, you know, they want to tank, but they're not comfortable tanking and it's difficult. They want to know how to get into it. And I mean, I have a lot of insight. I have a lot of comments on that. And I'm going to share it. I think that's going to be the next episode. So episode 4 is going to probably be on tanking. But anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. The new Mythics, which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? Overwatch 2, did they fuck up or did they not? And what'd you guys get in the Grey Vault? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.